Sayadaw says he is happy to receive all of you here. Just like before, on this auspicious moment, you are all like old Dhamma relatives, and you have come here to experience Dhamma Sukha, Dhamma Piti, happiness and joy of the practice as relatives. And he is very happy to welcome you again at this moment in this year, so that you may be able to undertake the practice as before. So he welcomes you here at this moment, at this auspicious moment, as all Dhamma relatives and Dhamma friends who have come here to undertake the practice in order to experience the Dhamma Sukha, Dhamma Piti, the happiness and joy of the practice as before.
Dhamma Sukha, Dhamma Piti Yashivoya Adwe Layo Atujare Yogi Myaha Jokorofiya Yimi Chani Ayuwara Demupini Dele Tonza Demupini, Badazagari Demupini Bimelo Amangaro Fuidu de Duha Atata Dosade Swimuli Babe, a 2 object Lucian and Hindi Bede, Dhamma Tweet Sate, Dhamma Swimio, Dhamma Midazul, Punyatilu Tapapara.
Although we are different geographically, we come from all parts of the world with different customs and manners, different racial conditions, different language. Though we are in this situation, we have come here in order to experience Dhamma Sukha and Dhamma Piti. So in that respect, we can be said to be Dhamma relatives. We are all the same in this respect. So we are related Dhamma-wise. And Dhamma-wise, especially when we are practicing the uplifting Dhamma, as we can be said to be relatives in this way. In the whole world, if we look at the world in general, overall, we can find that except this continent of Africa, people have come here from all over the world to practice this uplifting Dhamma, so that as fellow human beings we can be said to be related to one another as human beings of the world. In accordance with the Buddha, we are all related at one time or another while traversing these rounds of samsara, the unending round of life and death existences. We are all Dhamma family, we are related in one way or another at one time or another. So we can be said to be all relatives, especially in terms of the Buddha's dispensation, sasana-wise. And also we are very lucky that we are able to practice this uplifting Dhamma while we are living in this period of Buddha's dispensation, sasana, so that our status will not be degraded or downgraded. Instead, our status will be uplifted in all aspects by undertaking this correct practice of the Dhamma effectively. And once we are overwhelmed with this Dhamma practice, then this Dhamma will flow in our blood, in our heart, mind. As much as it is flowing in this country, in the blood of this country, it will also flow in the Dhamma family all over the world who are related to us. So in this way, by practicing this uplifting Dhamma, we shall be able to experience the Dhamma Sukha, Dhamma Piti, the happiness and joy of the practice. This is unique. For this, it is said that this Dhamma Rati excels all other enjoyments. So we have come here in order to experience this Dhamma Rati, Dhamma delight, which excels all other kinds of happiness. It is correct. So in order to, once you realize this Dhamma Rati, Dhamma delight as a result of the Dhamma practice, it will excel manifold the happiness of sensual pleasures. You all must have experienced at one time or another the enjoyment of worldly pleasures. And you know that all these worldly pleasures are not permanent, they are not secure, there is no guarantee, they are deadly, they are fatal. Their enjoyment, no doubt, you will feel happy, but such kind of happiness or enjoyment is fatal, is deadly and dangerous. They have no security. So, having faith in this, we have come here to undertake a practice which has security. So when you have come here as Dhamma relatives, Sayadaw says he is prepared to impart, to share his knowledge of the Dhamma in accordance with the exposition of the enlightened one, and also in guidance, under the guidance of the late Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. He is going to give a talk according to these literatures, so that you will be able to realize this Dhamma Rati, Dhamma delight, which will excel manifold the sensual pleasures. For those who have come from materialistic or developed countries, where they can get everything they want at the press of the button, when they push a button, you get everything. Those are the materialistic countries, and those people who have come from those countries, developed countries, said at one time that the best export from this country is the bhavana practice, the practice of meditation. When Sayadaw heard this, he was very glad, was very happy. At the same time, he took pride in it. So, as much as those people who have come from the countries with high standards of living, has said that the best export from this country is bhavana practice. So having taken pride in this and being glad to hear this, Sayadaw is prepared to share his knowledge, to give discourses in accordance with the exposition of the enlightened one, and also in accordance with the guidance of the late Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw, so that the Dhamma relatives, all of you who are Dhamma relatives, will be able to gain this best Dhamma, best export from this country, so that you'll be able to realize this Dhamma Piti, the real, the complete, full Dhamma Piti, Dhamma joy, the joy of the Dhamma, with the practice of the way of mindfulness, Satipatthana, in accordance, which will be taught in accordance with the scriptures and in accordance with the instructions of the late Venerable, most benefactor, late Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. so that you will be able to realize the best experience from this speech, from this practice, and realize this Dhamma Rati, Dhamma delight. As for the worldly pleasures, worldly delight, lokapiti, it has a lot of heat, it is hot, it is a cause for suffering. Because it is hot, it can cause suffering. Because if it is hot, when you go to near a fire, you will get hot. You will burn even. And then you will suffer. So that afterwards, after you are burned by fire, what will be left? What is left behind will be all black, dark cinders, ash, undesirable elements, remnants. Things will remain. Therefore, ordinary worldly happiness, so-called worldly happiness, is said to have a heat background, hot background. While you are experiencing the suffering, also you feel the heat, and after you have suffered, when the heat is gone also, you will be left with weakness, you will be tired and exhausted. So, such kind of happiness will not be good enough for you. So what you need is the real kind, the real happiness, which is security, which is guarantee. That kind of happiness is what you need and what you can get from the practice of the Dhamma. With the Dhamma, you'll be able to extinguish or overcome the heat of the fires of these negativities such as raga, dosa, moha, craving, aversion, and delusion. Only when you are free of these fires will you be able to experience peace and coolness, happiness. That is the essence of life. That will give you security so that you'll be able to experience the kind of happiness which is good in itself, unrelinquishable. You don't want to relinquish with it. You don't want to relinquish it. You don't want to let go this kind of happiness. And this kind of happiness is good in its purity, by itself, without any admixture. This is unique. So in order to do that, one has got to extinguish these fires of negativities, craving, aversion, and delusion. Then you gain the real happiness, which is guarantee, which is security. For that, you'll be able to penetrate the truth in an extraordinary manner. And by penetrating the truth, you'll be secured in your life. And Sayadaw says that he guarantees that you'll be able to realize, to gain that kind of happiness with the practice. With the practice of the Dhamma, your Dhamma blood will flow through your veins and all the yogis who are practicing the yogis, so that you'll be able to realize this piyakarana. There will be mutual love among all of you, and karukarana, there will be mutual respect and compassion among all of you, so that this will become unforgettable, a memorable thing, something to be remembered, something to be considered, known as Saraniya Dhamma, so that this will become infective. It'll infect among all of you. It'll flow from one person to another, so that you'll be able to realize this Dhammarati, Dhamma happiness, in a very wonderful manner. Once this realize you gain this quality of the Dhamma in full, then you'll all become real Dhamma family. There will be unity and harmony among all of you. This will be your advantage, this will be your benefit, because the Dhamma blood flows through your veins. However much you all are different, geographically, racially, language, customs, manners, and so on, you will be united in the sense of the Dhamma with the practice of the Satipatthana. From this, again, referring to the developed countries, materialist countries, some yogis once said that although externally, on the face, on the surface, they look quite comfortable, nice and cool and happy, they are suffering from heartburn. It's just like somebody who is in an air-conditioned area, air-conditioned room, is suffering from heartburn. They're burning. Their heart is burning, although they are living in an air-conditioned room. So however much externally the weather is cool or made cool, on the surface it is cool, but internally they're suffering. They're feeling the heat. With the heat, they suffer from the heat of especially these social problems, such as stress, the modern diseases such as stress, tension, depression, and so on, which has no remedy. And for this, Satipatthana gives guarantee. So once they are able to undertake this practice of Satipatthana, they are going to overcome such kind of heartburn, heat, social problems of stress, tension and depression, and will be able to hang on to this practice forever. Now what has been said here is with the worldly happiness, one will not be able to enjoy the real happiness, because internally one is suffering, not pure, suffering with the problems of human, of ordinary life, social problems. And knowing this, one needs to cool down one's internal heart. And for this, Satipatthana gives guarantee. So as for all of us, we have come here in order to realize, gain this Dhammarati, Dhamma delight, in order to cool down our internal body, the mind. So for that, we need to choose the location. In Thana, what we call Thana, which simply means meditation room or meditation kuti. And Buddha has used this expression asama, which has deep, profound meaning, and this meaning also will be revealed. So this again, this expression of Buddha as asami. This is a meditation center, in short, where one can extinguish the fires of craving, aversion, and delusion. That is the place where this kind of place is what is meant by asami. And so, understanding this, understanding that this craving can cause suffering, the heat and suffering. Anger or aversion also can cause heat and suffering. And then delusion, not knowing the truth, can also cause the heat of suffering. All these things are very difficult to be extinguished. Sometimes they burn, that nagging pain, nagging suffering, slowly smoldering. Sometimes at first speed, and from small spark to some conflagration, so that it becomes very difficult to extinguish, leading to many social problems, as we've discussed, leading to transgressive actions by body and speech, leading to the loss of one's life or suffering in one's life. Much suffering will take place. So, enduring this suffering. So for those who have intelligence, who can think about it, who reflect upon this and understand it, and delusion, which are very difficult to extinguish. They come to the meditation center as yogis, lay yogi, or as yogis wearing robes, at least for the time being, and practice the Satipatthana in accordance with the Buddha's dispensation, so that they were able to undertake the practice, and as much as they undertake the practice, they are bound to overcome these fires of negativities. And if you are able to practice in order to realize at least the first path of attainment, you will be free from the sufferings of a state of loss, and this will give you security in your life. And this will give you security in your life.